I'd like to show you one photograph that has possibly triggered a lot of new ideas in the recent weeks. And it's just simply one picture that I kind of stumbled on the internet. And it was a photograph of the old housing estate where I was born and where I lived for a good part of my life, really. But what I'm going to do is just going to show you the photograph and talk through it and maybe try to explain the things that triggered a lot of thoughts in my mind from that one single image. So I'm going to bring that image up. Hopefully that's what you're seeing there. You can see Craig Estate, Castlereagh, 1959, 1 year after I was born. I know this particular scene that we're looking at here on one side of the housing estate. And I know it can be difficult when you don't have the relationship with the same place, when someone else is trying to explain what it means to them. But this image just moved me in a real way, because the first thing that struck me was the emptiness of it. The street here, known as the Straight, actually that's the name of the street, is completely, well, not completely empty, but relative to today, there's nothing going on much in it. There are a little group of people, a mother or someone with some children running behind her. There's a little truck delivering something possibly, and another little truck away in the distance here. Don't know if you can see that there, but and other than that, there are no cars, no people, no bicycles, and so on. And it was this idea of the emptiness, the blankness of this, because as I say, the estate had just been built. I can't remember when, but it was certainly not that long before that photograph was taken. So it's brand new. You can get a sense of that maybe when you look at the buildings, but and the road is lovely and flat and clean, and tarmac and so on. And that first thought came to my mind, that this is about newness. It's about the beginning. Remember, I had just been born a year before. I was born in the estate, born in the house in the estate. And it felt to me, that image, like a blank canvas, you know. A lot of my childhood was spent running these streets and playing in these streets, and all sorts of events happen as they do around these streets. But because of the emptiness, the sense of emptiness and blankness of it, it felt to me like there was this mood of all things are possible. It was a new place. I was a new person, I suppose, having just been born. I was about to do a lot of things, and within this canvas, if you like, these areas, or areas like it around the estate, and all things were possible to us as children too. We believed in so much that we could do, and we could grow up to be this, that, and the other. And of course, we moved into the space era, you know, around that time, and we all believed we could be astronauts and we could go to the moon. You know, it was a period, I feel, that children believed in all possibilities. You know, that was very hopeful. Whether that's different from today, I don't know, but certainly that was the sense I had. But this image, the purity of it, and the cleanness of it, and the simplicity of it, for me, summed so much up. Perhaps even the innocence of it. It was untouched. Look, if you think about it, there, you know, the traffic hadn't got to it. Pollution, you know, relatively speaking, wasn't there. Litter, all, you know, the place was brand new, and that was echoed also when we look at the buildings themselves. The estate was built in quite a unique style, slightly different to some other housing estates, because all flat roofed, all angular, all box-like, very much coming from that period design that started off in Germany in the likes of the Bauhaus, where everything was pared down to the absolute clean geometric shapes. So it was a very modernist sort of an idea, this housing estate in its day. The designs were very modern, and if you look, and I don't know if I can enlarge, but if you look at the buildings here close, the edges of the steps, the zigzaggy edges of the steps, the patterns down the side of the hallways, and the circular windows mixed there, little circular windows as well as rectangular, which is quite a new thing. You can see them there in the distance. So if you can see my cursor moving around, that little circular thing there, and the rectangular metal frame windows. So all super neat, all to be, if you like, organized. And again, the photograph gave me this feeling that everything was in its place. Everything was ordered, and like, I suppose my life at the age of 1 was ordered, because nothing had really begun to happen that was going to in any way ruin that or destroy that order, and cause confusion. And unfortunately, like so many, our lives are such that confusion slowly grows in your life as you get older. So the purity of that order in some respects gets lost, which is very, a very sad event, I think, in some respects. The other thing in this picture is the light, the sunlight. There's a strong sunlight coming. You can see that great big shadow of the house here and on the left, casting a big, long, geometric, crisp, clean, dark shadow. I am suspecting that was morning time, because I know from having lived there that when we look to the left of this picture, we're looking to the sunrise, if you like. The sun rises in the east direction, and this was, I know, sort of southeast. So the sun would be there. The sun would set over towards our right-hand side in the evening. So this photograph, I know, was taken in a morning. Going by the shadows, it must have been fairly early morning in the summer, perhaps, or maybe not so much, maybe in winter. Although if you look at the windows over in the other houses, several of them are open, which suggests to me that it might be more likely to be summertime. So I'm reading it as summertime, but perhaps the tree here gives us another clue that maybe, it's not. There don't appear to be many leaves in that tree. But it's that crisp sunlit morning, which again reminds me of great purity and newness and a new day, if you like. So everything about this picture, to me, reflected brand newness and cleanness and orderliness, and the idea that this was an empty page on which my history perhaps was going to be written, or in which I played out big parts of my life, very important and happy parts of my life too, but also very sad parts of my life, and parts of my life that were not perfect. So this image has triggered an idea or ideas in my mind about this idea of a blank canvas, or this blank clean area on which I could put events, on which I could maybe place items, that start to populate this area as my life developed in it. And there's a nostalgia, of course, in it, and there's a certain feeling of loss. I do desire so much sometimes to be able to go back to this place as it was, looking like that. I would love to be able to walk into that picture and perhaps begin again, not that for any other reason, just because of the sense I had when I lived there and when I played out my childhood there. I would like to go there and do it again, I suppose is what I'm saying. I know I can't, but and in there and in that feeling is a whole area of emotion which I would love to get into my paintings in some way. And perhaps in the bigger picture, it symbolizes everyone's life. You know, that all things are possible at the start, and maybe some of them are fulfilled, some of them aren't. Perhaps the options get smaller as we grow older, the options narrow down, whereas at the very beginning, everything is up for grabs, and we can start and walk into this place, this empty theater, and start to act out things. And we only get that one chance to do that. We can't go back and redo it, which is a sad bit. But in another way, we learn to accept that we were given this one chance and this one theater, one stage, as Shakespeare said, you know, all the world's a stage. And what is it from Macbeth? It's tomorrow, and tomorrow brings its petty pace day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. Out, brief candle. What's the next line? Life is a walking shadow, a poor player who struts and frets their life upon the stage and then is heard no more. And it goes on, but I won't go on. But that also is a great quote that matches this image, you know. So anyway, if I can undo that and come back, I just wanted to share that with you. You know, it's a very powerful image for me, and yet sheer accident I stumbled on it, and it's an image with very little going on in it, but yet everything for me is going on in that image. So I don't know where it goes, where I take it in terms of being an artist, but maybe it will inspire you to be inspired by something that maybe you don't think necessarily is that important or big or full of information. It can be something empty that actually can fill your inspiration, if you like.